Hey folks, good afternoon. It is 4:28 in the afternoon on this Tuesday, August 8th. We are here at City Hall after witnessing a marathonic hearing about the MTA. But obviously, I testify in the name of so many subway riders that rely on the system every single day that some people of the media don't notice about us. Let's take a look who is in the neck of the woods. We see Fox 5. The only person I know in that channel is Lisa Evers. Alright. There's Sandra Bookman from Channel 7. That obviously she totally shared this transit advocate, but she doesn't know the work that I've been doing for the past 2 years. And right now we're nearby 2 subway stations. We have City Hall on the RNW and Brooklyn Bridge City Hall Chambers Street on the 4, 5, and 6 J and Z lines. Obviously, we're going to do a mini tour of the stations. And we're gonna see what has to be done. Obviously, of both subway stations, only one of them is ADA, let's say, accessible. That's Brooklyn Bridge City Hall on the 4, 5, 6 J and Z lines. But only you could take an elevator if you're going to take the 4, 5, and 6 trains. But what if you want to go, let's say, to Brooklyn and Queens? You cannot take a train from Brooklyn Bridge City Hall to Brooklyn and Queens. The only if, for instance, if you need the J and Z lines, you will have to take the 4 or the 5 right over here at Brooklyn Bridge City Hall and take it one station south to Fulton Street and then transfer to the J and Z. But we see something here interesting enough. The elevator is not working yet. It says, please excuse the inconvenience. This elevator is out of service until August 9th. So it says supposedly until tomorrow. So I will say, first of all, thank you to those reporters that are gonna mention them by name, that they know me by, and on Twitter, and have seen me personally in some, let's say, in all transit issues. One of them is Jose Martinez, the other one is Greg Marker. Then Rivoli, Danielle Fafaro, uh, Emma Fitzgibbons from the New York Times, Vince Barone from AM New York, and I cannot forget Andrew Sif from Channel 4, and those reporters from Telemundo 47 like Nila Rosario, Yaima Crespo, Yolanda Vázquez, Luis Geraldo Núñez, Alberto Rullán, y Alan Villafaña, that always either like or respond to my tweets. But the rest of the channels, like Channel 2 and Channel 7, that only attends the MTA meetings when there is something big, but don't take words from transit advocates like myself. We saw Brooklyn Bridge, City Hall, Chambers Street. Now we're gonna go to City Hall R&W lines, where Mayor de Blasio, or in other words, William Jr., like my beloved partner in crime, Omar Vera, will name. This station is where William Wilhelm Jr. hold his most recent press conference. Couple of things to know. One, this press conference was held on rush hours. Two, why was a R160R train held in this station for 3.5 minutes? Where's the answer? We don't know yet. But obviously, commuters like myself had to deal with the sequel just after the press conference, having signal problems of northbound trains at Canal Street. That is a disgrace. And as you know, I've been doing State of the Track for 2 years now. And what is State of the Track? State of the Track is basically examining the 472 subway stations, but not focusing on underground stations only, like Ronnie Hankum mentioned this morning in her testimony, but focusing on all stations in general. Not only underground, we have done it in elevated stations and at grade stations as well. Especially at Prospect Park on the Brighton line, where attention is more than needed. But recently, we not only experienced delays or issues in general with the subway, even with buses that display the wrong destination on their exterior destination signs. And we see this a lot on the 14th Street corridor on the M14A and on the M14D. But honestly, this is a disgrace. And we need to tell the bus drivers to please change the exterior destination signs every time that they depart from terminals. It is very important to do this to avoid confusion and delays for commuters. For example, on the M34 Salad bus service corridor, the bus could be going eastbound but displaying westbound destination. But obviously, when I tell the conductors, or in other words the bus drivers, to change the destination sign, I do it like this. When I do this sign right here that I'm doing, is in small words telling the bus drivers you need to change the exterior destination sign, because it's very annoying seeing this, and especially when out of towners use these bus routes because they don't know where they're going. Because, for example, if a person from out of town is at, let's put 34th Street Hello Square, and the bus that stops at 34th Street is the M34A, and that person wants to go to the Port Authority bus terminal. When the bus arrives, in some cases, instead of saying M34A Salad bus, Port Authority bus terminal by 8th Avenue and 34th Street, it could display Waterside by 34th Street and 2nd Avenue. This is a mess of huge disappointment. So, since that we are here at Broadway, let's look at the following station. That is City Hall on the RMW. As you see, there's a physical impaired person entering the station but doesn't know that this station is not ADA compliant. But here's the thing that we have to consider. The stairs, when it rains, it gets slippery, especially when we deal with snowstorms. It gets very slippery. People could fall, and therefore the MTA gets another lawsuit. That means more money that they have to spend in these types of legal issues. And the MTA has to be more proactive, not only giving out summonses to those who think to let's say, give out summonses to those people that drove later in the tracks, but they should enforce the law properly. Another issue that we face is people jumping the turnstiles. Jumping the turnstiles is illegal. But we have witnessed people jumping the turnstiles in few stations in the Bronx, especially Kingsbridge Road, and even stations here in Manhattan, like the southern entrance of 81st Street Museum of Natural History, and other stations that has more than one entrance. We forgot to mention one of those transit desert areas that's only served by one subway line and a few buses. It is very easy to do fare evasion. Why? Because the bus terminal station is very next to the entrance of Canarsie Walkway Parkway on the L line. Does the press know about this? They might know it, but are they going to report about this? Of course not. Some reporters, they only go in depth when there's something big, something huge. But let's talk about the Sea Beach line on the end. This line is going through a renovation phase. Already phase 1 that comprehends the Manhattan-bound platforms on the Sea Beach line between 8th Avenue and 86th Street Graves End. But we have seen during the past several months that some stations in this complex is not quite done. In the Manhattan-bound platforms, we could see things like graffiti and others. But does news reporters cover this? No, of course not. But transit advocates like myself like to go in depth, finding answers, looking for results. But does the majority of the media go in depth on this? No. I had to cancel even an out-of-state trip that I had programmed in the upcoming weeks for some. But in small words, my trip is still going, but for some it will be in suspense. So, to wrap up, please, if you're a reporter from a New York City giant media like Channel 7 and Channel 2, don't focus only on the people that run the system, like Joe Lola, that instead of interviewing him, you guys should ask him why is it that Joe Lola is part-time in the MTA and focusing more on his job as a dean at NYU. Because for some people, they forget what he posted on Twitter on January 25th, the same day that former CEO Tom Prendergast retired, and he stated that he wasn't going to come back, but we see that he is here. Let's look for that tweet and let's put the facts in the table. There's the tweet that says, who will succeed Prendergast? Ronnie Hankum, Joe Lola, New York State DOT Matt Discole, Port Authority Pat Foy, or US DOT Anthony Fox? And here's Joe Lola's response. Not Joe Lola. That is a fact. So, this tweet that was posted on January 25th at 11:11 a.m. raises more questions but provides little or no answers at all. So, we don't want to see the MTA like that person that I hate, that I have to see in every public speaking session in the MTA. Money thrown away. So this saga will continue.